Right, welcome to Advanced Session Safety. So, this is just kind of working through how to keep yourself safe in session. So firstly, just have a little look on page 29 at your duties as a play worker. So you should first see, it's about keeping yourself and others safe. Obviously, you need to make sure that everyone's staying safe at all times while they're at park. Of following parks policies and procedures, so I have a copy of the policies. There's a copy of the policies in Louise's office as well. Make sure that you are reading them regularly and that you are using the policies and procedures to inform how you do your job at park. Thirdly, communication. It's so important. The way we stay safe is communicating regularly. If, for instance, if you were like running after a child and a drink got spilt and you had to run after your child as a one-to-one, tell someone else, hey, something's just spilled, can someone mop it up please, sorry I can't move on. And fourthly, being proactive, making sure if there is a spillage, if there's a hazard, if there's something blocking a fire exit, if there's a toy on the floor, making sure you're doing what you can do to ensure that it's sorted out and the situation is used. So moving on, if you have a look at the rest of page 29, you'll see, and also if you move over to page 30 for the things to do in a fire, if you just have a look at the fire things first, if you can have an answer to those questions and just pause the video, and then obviously we'll go through them. So if you can pause now, and hopefully now you've just had a look at those. So let's go for the answers. Firstly, how many fire alarms are there in the building? There's 3. So there's one in the kitchen, there's one in the porch, and there's one in the main area. So could you just make a note of those, obviously. Obviously, if there was a fire, all you'd have to do is go and press the fire alarm, and then after that, the fire alarm will sound and we'll all get out of the building. How many fire extinguishers or blankets are there, and where can you find them? So there's 4. You can find the fire blanket in the kitchen, but there's also extinguishers in the corridor, the kitchen, and in the log cabin. Obviously, use those if you need to, but the priority when there's a fire is to get out of the building. Thirdly, where's the fire assembly point? The fire assembly point is the underpass. So as you come out, go across the little zebra crossing by the car park, congregate by the underpass. That's where we go if there's a fire. What should you do in the event of a fire? So first, you should listen to the instructions of a team leader. So obviously, the fire alarm bell will go, the team will be like, let's all get out, and we'll leave. Obviously, leave with a child. Obviously, if there's no children anywhere near you with whatever you're doing, then don't go running around searching for one. Just get out, get through the nearest fire door. So the one in the kitchen, there's one in the main area, and one in the main corridor. Just get out through one of those, and leave in an orderly fashion is the third one. So make sure you're leaving in an orderly manner. Fourth, we will register, so we'll make sure that everyone's here. Obviously, that's why you sign in and out at the start and end of the day. And fifth, we will then wait for further instructions. So we cannot leave the underpass until we are told it is safe to do so. Right, moving on now to session awareness. What things should you be looking out for in a session? So obviously you've got their sun cream, spillages, obstructions. There's other things that maybe you need to be looking out for. So overcrowding, particularly in the sensory room or in the soft play. Like, those areas are quite small, lots of people can be in there. It's worth just making sure that the area is still safe at the time. Other things, potential challenging behaviour, so children like misbehaving, all that kind of thing can obviously cause a hazard and a danger to others. And allergies, so making sure that obviously the snack that you give the children is appropriate for them, that they can eat it. And finally, safeguarding concerns are also a hazard and things we should be looking out for in the session. Obviously, we've already done our safeguarding training at this point. So if you look at the cleaning section of session awareness, maybe if you just have a look at the rest of the questions on page 30 and 31, just have a little look through those and then answer them. And then pause the video to do so, and then when you've unpaused it, I'll talk you through the answers. So if you could pause now. Right, so hopefully you've had a little look through some of those answers. Most of them are fairly common sense, to be honest, aren't they? So firstly, let's have a look at the toilet. So what do you have to do with the toilet? So firstly, clean the entire toilet. Make sure you clean behind the toilet, the whole bowl, under the seat, under the lid, on the lid, on top of the seat. Just every single surface of toilet needs cleaning, including obviously chucking toilet cleaner down the middle of the bowl. You also need to obviously be cleaning the sink and the mirror with some glass cleaner. Ensuring that the door handles and any other surfaces that could have been touched, so like the flusher as well, are all cleaned. Make sure you replace the paper towels, the toilet roll. Make sure the hand soap is replaced where it should be. Check the changing bed, check underneath the changing bed for clothes, making sure it's all tidy. You might also need to check things like the potty. So any surfaces that need cleaning, make sure they're cleaned, even things like the lid of the bin, the dusty surfaces on top of the hand towels and all of that, like the wooden surfaces around the side and the back of the toilet, all of that stuff needs cleaning. Make sure all of that obviously is cleaned, and then that's about it really. Move on to the second, what you do in the kitchen. So obviously surfaces all need cleaning, the washing up needs to be done, the floor swept and then potentially mopped. The team leader will tell you if the floor needs mopping. Chairs obviously stacked away and cleaned and wiped down with anti-bac. The bins will need changing. Obviously make sure that the white recycling bin is replaced with a white recycling bag and put into the recycling bin out the front. The bins might be needed to take out to the front. And then also making sure that the cleaning cupboard is clean and tidy and that the microwaves have been cleaned. And any other surfaces or tidying that needs doing, obviously use your use your common sense if you can. And finally, what do you need to do if you're packing the garden? So make sure the water ball is turned off. The biggest thing we forget to do is turn that water ball off, and sometimes you turn up in the morning and it's been rolling all night. It's a big waste of power. Make sure that we're not doing that. Make sure the hose is put away properly, that the mats are gathered up and put underneath the mushroom, that the gates are locked, and that any other general toys or sand play or water play that has been out is put away or drained or whatever effectively and properly. Right, moving on to the next bit. So, the cleaning products below, what are they? What do they do? Do you need PPE? Are they corrosive, flammable, etc.? So, if you look at the spray and wipe, what are these? They are anti-bac, multi-surface, so you can spray and wipe all sorts of different surfaces, and they are corrosive. Secondly, the STC, so that is toilet cleaner, and that also is corrosive. The Bright, so that's plastic and window cleaner, and that's an irritant. Fresh Wild Lemon is floor cleaner, that's corrosive, and the Citral is washing up liquid, which is also corrosive. They're your answers. You may as well just put those down, to be honest, because I'm not totally sure what else I'm supposed to tell you about those. First time I've been stumped. Let's move on, shall we? That sounds good to me. Right, so this is an accident and incident book. And I thought what might be really helpful is just to give you one of these to have a look at. Well, obviously I can't give it to you because the screen's in the way, but you can just have a look at this and see it for yourself. So if you look at the accident incident, whenever an accident or incident occurs, so an accident is just whenever someone receives an injury or a whatever. So if they fall over, for instance, if they are hit, if they knock into something, walk into something, whatever they do, that's an accident, that needs reporting. Things you would need in an accident: firstly, you would need the child's name, the date of birth. We then have to put the date of the accident and the time of the accident. So when you're reporting an accident, it's incredibly important to make sure that you're not giving us just, oh, so-and-so's fallen over in the main area, but you're telling us, like, obviously the date is obvious, but exactly what time has it happened? Where has it happened? Who was there? Did anyone else see it? Did anyone witness it? We might need other people just to corroborate your story. How old, we need to then say how old the child is, what sort of injury is it, so have they been cut, is it an animal bite, is it a bump to the head, is it an eye injury, a burn, etc. We need a full description of the accident, so please report to us everything you can think of about that accident when you're telling us about it. We may need details of the injury and any action that was taken to deal with it. Then also we'll occasionally observe the record of the child. We'll then need, if you look at this page, the reporting staff member to print their name and sign it. The person in charge, the team leader or the manager, will do that. And then obviously the parent as well needs to sign it. We need to make sure that the parents are seeing if their child has had an accident. Obviously it's very worrying if you send your child to some place and they come back with an unexplained bruise or red marks. So it's really important that we're reporting our accidents properly. Similarly, this is an incident record. So, incidents, the way we deal with those is in a very similar way. So an incident would be if a child swears, if they hit someone, if they hurt someone. All of these things would be counted as incidents. How do we deal with these? Well, again, obviously you need to report it as soon as you safely can, and then give as much information as possible. So info we need is the name, the address. Obviously you don't need to know the address, that will be in the details. Exactly when the incident happened, the nature, so a clear kind of description. And we also need to know who's dealt with the incident. So if you're reporting it, it probably would usually be you. And how have you dealt with it? What have you done? Have you sat them down, got them to calm down and removed them from the situation, etc, etc. Ask them to apologise, all the rest. So that's all the stuff for incident and accidents and staying safe in sessions. I hope that has been of some use to you. Thank you for filling in the book, and we'll move on to the next section, shall we?